Good morning, friends. Stephen Benoon here. Situation over in the Middle East is getting really bad. Donald Trump allegedly has used thermonuclear, uh, at least tactical nukes, I should say, not thermonuclear, but tactical nuclear weapons on Iran. And from what I've heard from the Iranian side on this, they would not use nukes unless someone used nukes on them. And a tactical nuke is a nuke. So I don't know what's going to happen next. I know Trump is really trying to use a lot of firepower to take over the Strait of Hormuz. He's claimed that he's blocked that strait now. The Iranians are claiming they've closed the strait as well. We did have one destroyer that has suffered very significant damage. I'll be sharing that here with you probably in about 5 or 6 hours from now. I will share that information with you so you can see it for yourself. And they took on two pretty significant hits. I don't know from what type of missiles or whatever, but they did. And there's been a lot of report that they've targeted also the USS Abraham Lincoln and allegedly hit it, but I have no confirmation of that, neither from the Iranians. So I'm still suspect about that. I don't know if that's really true or not. The Iranians normally are pretty good about letting you know that they've hit something. And but Trump also bombed the rich oil-rich island that Iran has. Iran has vowed that if they put their troops there, there will not be one American soldier return alive. So this is getting very serious, and it's all about global economics. And if you remember what I told you about the pipeline coming out of Saudi Arabia, the Qatar, Israel, and the United States have built, supposedly still under construction. They haven't fully finished it. But it could move 40% of the oil out of that region, and that's something they're going to do. Well, Iran also, back in 2025 with China, built a 10,000-kilometer long rail system into Iran, another way to be able to export oil from Iran to China. So there is a lot going on in behind the scenes because people knowing that these changes are coming. So I'm going to keep you up to date. So let's get ready to rock and roll with it. And by the way, my YouTube channel, Stephen.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Kal Haloya, Ha'abah Shemiel, Shabbat Shabbat Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops, the great millstone, even the elder that came before them that taught us his truth. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers are pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful like tabernacle of David. I'm the elder Yashawan, back with the World War III Daily Update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to you all. And today is War and Rumors of War Tuesday. And we just heard some wars and rumors of war, right? And we're going to hear some more. But first, let's do what we do on Tuesday, which is go to Matthew 24 and read 6. What are we looking for? That famous phrase, wars and rumors of wars. That famous phrase, okay? Then what we do is we read it in its entirety in the King James. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. We go in. We notice the differences in some of these different versions. NIV is rumors as well. NLT is threats. So we got rumors and threats. Come down here to good. You have good news. News of battles. Rumors, threats, news. Right here in Aramaic. Reports. Rumors, threats, news, reports, and it all adds up to what? World War III is famous. The fame, the lore, the stories, the news, reports of World War III. That's what wars and rumors of war is. Everybody's talking about World War III. What did he just say? Oh, they just used tactical nukes. Did Trump just threaten to use nukes? Let's find out. This is Chris Green, 3 minutes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, big news on Thursday. Donald Trump is giving a massive speech.
Big what? What did he say? Big news. He's got big what? Big news of battles far away. What's he going to talk about? Big news. News report.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, big news on
What is
Thursday.
the big
Donald
news?
Trump is giving a massive.
The big news is about World War III. Big news. World War III. Rumors of war. News. Threats. All of that. That's what we're hearing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, big news on Thursday. Donald Trump is giving a massive speech. Many think will proclaim that the World War III event.
He's going to announce World War III. Big news. There's a report that Donald Trump on Thursday, there's a rumor on Thursday that Donald Trump is going to announce World War III. This is exactly that.
In Iran has just begun. Donald Trump made comments just yet.
He said what? It's just begun.
III event in Iran has just begun. Donald
World
Trump
War
made
III
comments.
event. The World War III event in Iran
Will proclaim that the World War III event. III event in Iran has just begun. Donald Trump made comments just yesterday that if he didn't use, quote, nuclear on Iran, that they would use nuclear. So many are suspecting that we'll get more information about Donald.
So if he's talking about nukes, and Stephen Bannoon is saying that they already used them, did you hear him? Where are we going? Are we already there? That's a rumor.
War III an event.
What did Bannoon say? Donald Trump is using nukes. What did he say? Are these rumors? Are these threats? Are these reports? Is this news?
III event in Iran has just begun. Donald Trump made comments just yesterday that if he didn't use, quote, nuclear on Iran, that they would use nuclear. So many are.
It's called a threat, a nuclear threat. If they don't use nukes on us, we're going to use them on. If we don't use them on them, they're going to use them on us. That's a threat.
Expecting that we'll get more information about Donald Trump's new 20% tax of the Hormuz Strait, of all boats, ships coming through that very small shipping lane, which of course has been closed, I believe, about 5 months now.
Rumors.
This is where a majority of oil, natural resources, minerals, microchips, things that go in our cell phones, etc., transfer through. So
go in your hand.
very, very serious. Now, the United States has also ramped up its attacks on Iran.
Rumors.
So more bombing raids, more absolute total destruction.
Threats.
This is also concurrently happening at the same time Russia is bombing Kyiv. So
reports.
Huge bombs, huge destruction,
War
no peace deal. That's been completely off the table. Another thing most Americans are keeping their eye on is what many believe or starting to think something is looking wrong in the U.S. stock market. We've had, of course, a new Fed chairman come in, Kevin Warsh, talking about how he's going to get rid of inflation. And it just seems as if the American people are being set up. My father, for example, is warned of a giant financial stock market crash in the days ahead, saying, quote, you could lose everything. I agree. I've put out countless warnings over the last few months saying exit the stock market, get out of cash because that's trash, and of course invest in real assets you control in a private ecosystem, and more importantly, get out of debt. I believe that to be very, very, very good advice and stewardship.
Get back to the war, buddy.
You prepared out there, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I believe, and I'm just going to give my opinion and state it, that the United States and or Israel in combination will nuke strike Iran. I believe that this will happen.
Will nuke. What is that? Is that a rumor? Is that a threat? Is that news? Is that a report?
Also, I believe that there's going to be a deep fake crisis 9/11 very soon, which will then force people into the digital ID system being
went into the mark of the beast. EMP, right? The papers, please. Here's the line for the sea.
pushed by Bill Gates and others. And Trump, unbeknownst to him, is, I think, ushering this in as well. You're going to need this to log into your bank accounts, of course, social media, get into a self-driving car, all government services, and, of course, UBI. The way that they're going to fund that is through socialist policies, which are currently in place with the U.S. government merging state power with most of Fortune 100 companies like Intel. Stay on your toes as speech.
Now, why did he go into the chip? Because he's all about money, right? He threw the chip.
It's going to be massive on Thursday, and let's see if...
So there's a rumor that this guy's going to give a speech and introduce World War III. Sounds like rumors of war to me. Where you go, Chris Green? Steve Ram. Where you at, Steve? You're up. You got Ear. Scott Ritter. Come on, Steve. What you got? Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Okay, Steve Ram, listen to his opening. As far as wars and rumors of war, and don't touch the World Cup. Hurt not the World Cup. Listen to his intro.
Most people will ignore this until the next draft.
Devil did that. Bitch. Bitch ass devil. Look.
Action. All right, a lot of new developments happening with the conflict in the Middle East between the United States and Iran, as we're hearing that new nations are now going to be joining into the war. And in addition to that, new nations, global powers vocalizing their opinions and disapproval.
Listen to how he's talking in a macro world war. You see how the spirit of the language, listen to the spirit of the language. He's talking about everybody's going to war. Everybody is pushing world war. The spirit of the Lord is pushing world war coming out of everybody's mouth today. And nukes.
All right, a lot of new developments happening with the conflict in the Middle East between the United States and Iran, as we're hearing that new nations are now going to be joining into the war. And in it,
going, it's not just regional no more. It's going worldwide. It's love.
That new nations, global powers vocalizing their opinions and disapproval for what's going on and how this conflict is now beginning to impact those nations. In addition to that, some breaking news coming out just moments before I went live here, and that is we're hearing Donald Trump has done a reversal on his fees that are going to be charged in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, I'm going to be giving you the latest video footage, but it just seems like we're seeing changes and shifts happening from minute to minute. Let's go ahead and dive right in and get you caught up on the latest so you can see what's going on here. So now, Saudi Arabia is going to be opening up a new front in the Iran war. They're going to be going alongside the United States and Israel. In addition to that, Russia says renewed strikes against Iran that have just occurred have violated the MOU. They are undermining the nuclear settlement efforts. Today, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, he warned Tuesday that renewed military strikes on Iran undermine diplomatic efforts to resolve the standoff over Iran's nuclear program. Russia getting very vocal today regarding the conflict. In addition to that, we do know that Iran is China's indispensable partner, but Beijing is saying they will never fight its war. So at this time, China is saying we're not going to get involved. We are not going to be fighting, but this is impacting our economy. Russia coming out and having a lot to say today. We're going to be covering the details and take a look moments ago as well from the live feeds. Benjamin Netanyahu to Iran's leaders. He said, "We will respond to any attacks on Israel with far more power." Israel issuing out a chilling threat today to Iran, saying that we are ready to absolutely decimate the remaining Iranian powers. U.S. military yesterday says it had a 5-hour wave of strikes that hit Iran's coastal defenses, missiles, and drone sites. And we're hearing a new wave is going to be hitting today. Donald Trump said Monday and Tuesday, we're going to blow up Iran. And yesterday, I covered it for you. People were telling me, oh, I thought that this had happened. This is old news. I was trying to explain, no, it's still happening. 5 hours of attacks unfolded last night from the United States against Iran. In addition to that, we're seeing articles coming out like this. The U.S. attacks Iran and Tehran retaliates across the Middle East, threatening a return to all-out war. And we're hearing that new nations are taking stances and joining into the war today. And can the Gulf countries defend themselves against renewed Iranian attacks? We're hearing that there is a lot of pressure on various nations. And take a look here. Iran, North Korea, Russia, they only care about one thing, and that is about their regime's survival. Now, notice they didn't mention China in there, but take a look at this article. Now, this came out at the beginning of the war. It has been updated in the last 48 hours, and it's posing the question, given the headlines in 2026, it would be reasonable to ask this question: have we entered into World War III?
It keeps coming up. Okay? Well, apparently Trump is going to answer that question on Thursday. 2 days. So we'll cut it right here. There's just too much. See? So what is the talk of the town? What is the talk of the world right now? World. World War III is the talk of the world. Is it the World Cup? No, it's World War III. I don't even know who's winning the World Cup. It's not even important. But these people over here bombing and strafing. Go ask Iran, is World War III important right now? To the people of Iran catching bombs and shit. Go ask the people of Tel Aviv, still recovering from what happened earlier this year. Ask them if World War III is all good. Just because a bomb hasn't landed on your porch yet, right, doesn't mean that it's not popping off. All right? Trump threatens to use nukes before they do. He said that a day or so ago. They're hiding that. I worded that wrong. 10 hours. Okay. I think that's what I saw earlier. They're saying, no, he threatened a specific nuclear spot. No, that's not what Chris Green just said. Chris Green knows exactly what he's saying. He's not mincing his words. Threatens Iran.
Just over the last couple of months with the protests, Trump has just made his most apocalyptic threat to Iran yet. Just over the last couple of months with the Trump, just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like 32,000 protests. 32,000. Trump has just made his most apocalyptic threat to Iran yet. In his latest post, he said, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. Now, even if you grant
Threats. These are old threats. Can't really find anything today, but I'll go by what Chris Green said. All right. Trump really wants to use a nuke 2 weeks ago. Okay. Looking for chatter. Just looking for miscellaneous chatter. One more. Scott ready to slock it for just going long. Springing. What's the latest? What is everybody saying? Right now, everybody's saying World War III. What is Scott?
This little counter.
If Scott says World War III, it's a wrap. So this is an hour ago. Open-minded thinker. Come on now. What are you doing? Is that me? All right, here we go. Come on.
And I don't believe the United States has a strong hand. But again, we have to understand where Trump is coming from. He's not coming from a position of strength. We lost the war.
We lost the war. It's already over. So whatever you see right now is we lost the war and now this. Now they're trying to make it seem like now here's the smoke and mirrors to make the American people think something that ain't true.
And I don't believe the United States has a strong hand. But again, we have to understand where Trump is coming from. He's not coming from a position of strength. We lost the war.
Over and over we lost.
No other way to put it. We lost the war. And now he's trying to renegotiate an outcome or negotiate an outcome premised on the political notion that we won. He's trying to sell victory to the American people. But you can't. You can't put lipstick on that pig. We lost the war. And we lost it badly. Economically, especially. This is why he said, I had no choice but to sign the MOU. And so I think that this is an act of desperation. This is, two scenarios come to mind. This could be, Pickett's charge.
This is a war report of who lost the war. This is news, war news. Wars and news of wars. What's the news? Well, Babylon lost. Smallhead's lost.
Act of desperation. This is, two scenarios come to mind. This could be, Pickett's charge. People understand what happened there. Longstreet's desperate bid to break the Union center. But when it failed, that was it. Lost. It could be,
Yamamoto.
what was it? The Yamamoto. Japanese battleship that sailed sorted out of Japan, trying to take on the American fleet off of the Philippines. Got sunk coming out there because it just couldn't survive.
When former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer Scott Ritter says that America is losing the war with Iran, he is piercing through a veil of deception and revealing the delusion.
That's the news. That's the war report. What is the war report? Well, here's the latest news in the war report. America's losing the war with Iran today, an hour ago. That's what Scott Ritter's saying, and he knows what the hell he's saying.
American fleet off of the Philippines got sunk coming out there because it just couldn't survive.
When former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer Scott Ritter says that America is losing the war with Iran, he is piercing through a veil of deception and revealing the delusion and desperation of the Washington war machine. Ritter asserts that if America dares to launch a large-scale ground offensive against Iran, it would face the most devastating defeat of any ground
That's going to happen
force in human history. He even named a specific target, that strategic linchpin in the Persian Gulf, Karg Island. This former UN weapons inspector sees an empire's illusion collapsing before his eyes, and what we intend to do today is to look deeper and further than his analysis, to see the truth in its full, stark clarity. Before we dive deep into a mad bet with soldiers' lives and America's national destiny on the line,
Ooh, I gotta hear that.
Current situation helps us fight against the pervasive algorithm suppression. If you agree that independent, honest voices deserve to be heard, please hit that subscribe button to support our continued work in this kind of reporting. Ritter's warning is no exaggeration. He sees the heart of the problem. Washington simply does not have a viable war plan. He says U.S. forces don't even have air superiority over Iran and lack a clear understanding of their bombing targets. Is this the military action of a superpower? No, this is a high-stakes gamble, a mad bet with soldiers' lives and America's national destiny on the line.
Let's get a precept real quick. 2nd Ezra 9:3 in the GMT. There will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders, and confused rulers. When you see these things happening, you will know that they are what God Most High has spoken about since the beginning of creation. This dude is out of his mind. They all are. They're making these bad mistakes.
Ritter cuts to the bone, pointing out that Iranians have spent 20 years preparing for this very defense, that they have their own rhythm and plans, and that U.S. forces are merely reacting. He asserts that a large-scale ground invasion simply won't happen, because it would be a massacre of American troops.
What's going to happen?
Ritter's analysis tears away the facade of American military supremacy and shows us a frail skeleton beneath. I fully agree with Ritter's assessment regarding the improbability of a U.S. ground invasion of Iran. However, regarding the question of what war is currently unfolding, I hold a fundamentally different view. The scenario Ritter predicts, U.S. forces seizing Karg Island and pushing deep into Iranian territory within 3 weeks, is, in my judgment, virtually impossible at this stage. The reasons are not purely military, they are deeply political and psychological, and even tied to Trump's own character. The American president simply does not have the mental fortitude for a prolonged, bitter campaign that could very well end with the Iranian regime still standing. Trump's logic of war has always been transactional. He wants a victory. He can showcase on television maximum pressure to force the opponent back to the negotiating table, not another quagmire like Afghanistan or Iraq. Even if the Pentagon's generals genuinely crave a ground war, the forces they could deploy would not be purely American. Any ground invasion would have to rely heavily on proxies. Gulf state forces, Kurdish fighters, and even remnants of extremist groups retasked by agencies like the CIA to serve as cannon fodder for the ground assault. But asking the Gulf Arab monarchies to contribute their troops is tantamount to asking them to declare war on Iran. That is an act of madness no rational Arab leader would ever commit. Because once full-scale war ignites in the Persian Gulf, Iran, fighting for its very survival, would not hesitate to strike the region's desalination plants. These facilities are the lifelines for tens of millions in the Gulf states. Destroying...
So there's a plan, and they can roll it all the way out. Stretch it out and stretch out Babylon. See, Babylon ain't trying to fight for no long time, but that's what Iran is going to force them into a war of attrition, a long, drawn-out meat grinder. and it's going to require ground troops. They're going to be sent. The Northern Army. I'm going to end it right there. How do we know? Joel 2 and 20. But I will remove far from you the Northern Army, talking about the North American Army, and will drive him away into a barren and desolate land with his face toward the eastern sea and his back toward the western sea, and his stench will come up and his foul odor will rise, because he has done great things. Where is this thing? Read it again. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he has done great things. Okay? It's referring to the valley of Yehoshaphat. Okay? That's how we know, right? A bunch of people are going to get sent over there and not come back and die. Go into the Apocrypha and show you, right? The women are going to lament because their husbands are going to die in the wars. Okay? Anyway, it's just a little update as far as where things are going. There was an escalation. We'll see if Trump gives a speech on Thursday, and we'll see how soon it's revealed that they're using micronukes.
Days. This consequence is so catastrophic that no Gulf state can afford to even contemplate it. Thus, the notion of an Arab coalition invading Iran is, from the outset, a geopolitical joke.
Hormuz, Iran's atomic bomb, what he called the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, Iran's thermonuclear weapon. If that gets shut together, the Strait of Hormuz, the depletion of global energy will be precipitous. And Donald Trump's going to find himself in the exact same situation he was when he said, I had no choice but to sign the MOU.
That's happening
so this
right
is a
now.
big gamble played by Donald Trump. Why?
They're shutting
Because
down
he's
Bab
desperate. We
el-Mandeb
don't
right
have a
now. The
military solution.
Houthis.
There is no military solution.
The Houthis got involved, and now they're shutting down the strait. So that is happening right now. All right. Just to show. Now, Houthis declare Bab el-Mandeb shut down after Saudi Arabia strikes. So this is where we are. What did Scott just say? If they shut down both of them, 13 hours ago. So this is where we are. 10 hours. Are Yemen's Houthis about to shut down the Bab el-Mandeb? Because of that, they shot up the airport and wouldn't let that plane land. What's going on?
After the attack on Sana'a airport in Yemen, the Houthis have launched an attack against Saudi Arabia, which is leading analysts to wonder if they are about to shut the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which would cause the global economy to have a massive shock, in addition to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Is this going to happen?
It did. got out. They couldn't clean it up. Okay? These two got out. One India. Slovakia, I'm going long. It's a spirit. I'll be trying to keep them short.
What happens if two of the world's most important maritime choke points are disrupted at the same time? That nightmare scenario is now back in focus as rising tensions around the Strait of Hormuz and fresh threats targeting the Bab el Mandeb Strait raise fears of a historic global energy shock.
The bobblehead.
Together, these two narrow waterways are among the most critical arteries of the global economy. The Strait of Hormuz carries...
So now can you see what the Most High is doing? This is the infrastructure. This is the what they would call the image of the beast at the time. This is the old image of the beast, which is the system that keeps the world running. Okay? Suddenly, that system is in danger. Now, is this by design? It doesn't matter if it's by design or whatever they're trying to pull off, but this is the end of the world. If they don't get this, if they don't have an alternative ready to go, when this hits, when this is over, they don't have a solution to this immediately, which they probably do. Right? The whole world suffers and comes to an end. Now, here's what's going to happen according to the scripture. While all of this is going on, Yahweh Shemel Shai and the angel would come in and solidify that nothing comes after this. So if they have something ready to go, that ain't going to work. This ain't going to, this is coming to an end. This is it. Okay? That's what we're looking at. All right?
Around 20 to 21 million barrels of oil every single day. That is roughly 1/5 of the world's total petroleum.
This is the system coming to an end. How? Through this war. What happens midway through this war? Left the battle that they had won against another. Who's new? Oh, bear with me, please. Salakia, 2 Ezra 15:33. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have won against them. Okay, so that is in World War III when the angels come in. That they're going to stop fighting each other and fight against the angels in Yahweh Shemel Shah. But the point being made, right, is that this is it. What we're watching is the end of this system. starting with the oil, the energy, and all of that. Without it all working together, the whole world suffers. The system that they worked so hard to erect and in transition to the new one is not going to work because of what we just read. This intervention. That's the intervention right there. Okay? And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have. What battle? World War III. They have one against another. Then they're going to come and try to fight against the angels. All right, so anyway, with that, we pray that the elect are edified, just covering some bases and showing you where this thing is going and how quick, because everything's moving real fast right now. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom. Shalom, shalom.